16 teams started this journey over 3 weeks ago. We're down to the final 2.
The 2020 Under-19 World Cup final. In the air and gone. That's a strike by Abhishek Das.
Well, this is what Bangladesh would have wanted. Excellent stuff.
Beautiful shot.
Oh, the timing is wonderful. Simply
50 for India.
And a long follow through and a stare from the bowler.
Wow.
That's 50 for Jaiswal. He has not been dismissed for less than 50. What an outstanding tournament he's having.
Carves him. Backward a point. He finds the man.
The ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup has developed into an elegant event that showcases the best of the next generation and is acknowledged as the graduating school for top-class cricketers around the world. The tournament, which is held every 2 years, replicates a major global tournament experience in terms of organisation, giving the future stars not only a chance of playing top-level age group cricket, but also experiencing firsthand the paraphernalia that goes with senior international cricket, including broadcast matches, anti-doping procedures, anti-corruption education and media interactions.
It's very important for me, as I remember my first World Cup playing for Pakistan in Australia. I remember every ball, every runs, everything in my career, what happened, but I still remember that World Cup. Having said that, you know why it's very important, because first time you start wearing the badge of your country, and that is very important as a player, you know, like you start representing your country and you start feeling special about yourself. And this ICC kind of World Cups and ICC tournaments is very, very important for the youth level, because you start playing against the other nations, and those cricketers will meet you when you start playing for your national team. And you remember, you start getting respect from each other, you start understanding each other's game a lot. And this is very important. And as an Asian, you know, when you go abroad and start playing against the big countries, the established and well-organized country, when you score runs against them, when you take wickets, and then you start believing that yes, you can belong to that arena and that environment where you can go and play for Pakistan, basically, or play for your country.
With alumni that include several past and present stars like Steve Smith of Australia, Joe Root of England, Virat Kohli of India, Kane Williamson of New Zealand, Inzamam UL Haq of Pakistan, Graham Smith of South Africa, Sonit Jayasuriya of Sri Lanka, and Brian Lara of the Windies. Each edition is now looked forward to by fans as they get a chance to identify future stars.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Sure, I was probably 17 or 18 at the time. And I remember being, wow, we're going to an Under-19 World Cup, this is fantastic. It was in New Zealand, and I know that now the World Cup's also in New Zealand. There are a few players that I played in the South African team who I managed to play with for South Africa afterwards. And that whole experience was greatly beneficial, because you are playing in an international tournament in your age group, so it gives you that type of international feel. And you also get a sense of where you are at and where your team is at in relation to every other country in the world. And many times you'll see stars or guys coming out of this who later on become household names. So my experience was very good. Thoroughly enjoyed the whole competition. For a 17, 18 or even 19-year-old, you don't experience it. And when you do, it's quite enjoyable.
Since the beginning, India have won the World Cup on a record 5 occasions, while Australia have won 3 times, Pakistan twice, and Bangladesh, England, South Africa and the West Indies once each. 2 other teams, New Zealand and Sri Lanka, have made it to tournament finals. India is the current champion after defeating England.
I think it is the first real taste of international cricket that the boys get. You know, when you start at under 19 level, you're just reaching maturity. Your skills are developed to a large extent, your techniques there. And thereafter you play in this international tournament, which is of the highest quality. And then it actually gives you a really good grounding upon which to build, a foundation upon which to build your international career. And anyone who does well in an under-19 World Cup gets immediately recognized and then pushed through or fast-tracked into international cricket with their main sides. It is also an opportunity to represent your country with a lot of pride and have a wonderful time playing the best cricket possible at that age. So it's a very, very important stepping stone in any young player's career.
The ICC decided to hold the next Under-19 Cricket World Cup in Sri Lanka from the 13th of January to the 4th of February 2024, involving 16 teams. But due to the pressure that cricket has had to face with the political instability in Sri Lanka, the ICC recently decided to host the 2024 Under-19 Cricket World Cup to South Africa. What has happened to Sri Lankan cricket? Sri Lanka has to face severe economic pressure and political instability.
Moving on now, cash-strapped Sri Lanka has cut lending rates for the first time in nearly 3 years. The island nation, which
as Sri Lanka struggles to recover from its worst economic crisis in
debt
decades,
distress. Sri Lanka defaulted on its debt last year and recently secured a $3 billion bailout from the IMF.
The people of Sri Lanka have suffered a lot due to the short-sighted decisions taken by corrupt politicians in their past. Especially Sri Lanka, which earns more income from the tourism industry, suffered a rapid collapse due to the various incidents that it had to face in the last few years. The 2019 Easter terrorist attack, the COVID-19 pandemic, and political instability. Sri Lanka declared bankruptcy in 2022 due to the decisions of short-sighted, corrupt politicians. It is a great tragedy for the country as well as for future generations that the corrupt politicians of Sri Lanka still keep sports as a hostage and carry out their political gambling with such a background. Due to such decisions taken by the new sports minister in the new government selected in 2022, a black mark has been created in the international community regarding sports in Sri Lanka. Due to the actions of this inexperienced sports minister, Sri Lanka lost membership in the International Football Federation and the International Rugby Board previously. But the sports minister, who did not stop his unmatured actions, has also driven Sri Lanka to lose membership in the International Cricket Council. All this recently started because of the interim committee for cricket appointed by the sports minister against the Sri Lanka Cricket Board. But the court in Sri Lanka issued a restraining order to the interim committee appointed by the minister the very next day. Then this sports minister passed a parliamentary resolution against the Sri Lanka Cricket Board with the support of an opposition party in the Parliament of Sri Lanka. There, he blamed the Sri Lankan judiciary for opposing his decision under parliamentary privileges. After the adoption of this parliamentary resolution, the International Cricket Council temporarily banned the membership of Sri Lanka cricket due to political interference. Later, the executive president of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, blamed the minister and the opposition in the parliament for undermining the parliament of Sri Lanka in international politics.
අපිට විරුද්ධව චෝදනා දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එකක් තමයි මේ සභාව ක්‍රිකට් මණ්ඩලයේ විසිර හැරීම. ඒකට මම කිව්වා උසාවිය තීරණය දෙයි අපි කරන එක මේ ඇමතුමා කරපු එක නීත්‍යානුකූලද නැද්ද කියලා. අනික කියන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව මේකට එකතු වුණා කියලා. ඉතින් දැන් මේක කොහොමද අපිට විසඳන්නේ? ඇමතුමා ප්‍රකාශ කරේ ගමන් විපක්ෂේ නැගිටලා මේවා කරා. ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ කොහොමද දේශපාලනේ නැහැ කියන්නේ.
However, due to such political missteps, the International Cricket Council decided to remove the hosting of the 2024 Under-19 cricket tournament from Sri Lanka and shift it to South Africa. Does the country sacrifice sports for corrupt politicians? This decision is a death blow to the economy of Sri Lanka, which has been declared as a bankrupt state in severe economic distress. Let us show you some of the disadvantages to Sri Lanka by shifting 2024 Under-19 Cricket World Cup to South Africa. 5 cricket clubs were selected to host the 2024 Under-19 cricket tournament in Sri Lanka. and the Sri Lankan Cricket Board had agreed to provide funds for the upgrade of all 5 cricket grounds to an international standard. Based on that understanding, the respective 5 cricket clubs had started developing various selected infrastructures, such as new media units, digital scoreboards, and sports lounges with facilities for these sports grounds. In this way, the infrastructure had started to be built with the allocated funds for the Under-19 Cricket World Cup from the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, while the International Cricket Council allocated an amount of $14 million to the respective country for hosting the Under-19 Cricket World Cup. Sri Lanka will lose this $14 million by losing hosting, and the clubs that were upgrading the infrastructure have to stop midway without funds. Not only the funds, but also the players of each club and schools who use these cricket grounds that have started repair work, and new construction will be extremely helpless. The Sri Lankan government does not have the funds to continue the construction of these. This is the playing field of the Colombo Cricket Club. This sports club, which is many years old, is located in the centre of Colombo with such abandoned construction.
අපි මේකට හරියට මාන්සි වෙනවා. අපිට මේ එන පාඩුවක් වුණා. මෙතන මැච් නැතුව ගියා අපට. අපි ඕකේ තිබුණා නම් අපිට කීයක් හරි හොයාගන්න තිබුණා. ඒකෙන්ද අපිට හරි කනගාටුයි. ඒත් අපි මාන්සි වෙලා පුළුවන් තරම් මාන්සි වෙලා මේක හදා ගන්නවා. පුළුවන් නම් අපිට මේ මැච් එක ලැබෙන්න සලසුවොත් බොහොම හොඳයි.
අපේ රට උණ සංවර්ධිත රටක්. ඉතින් මේ ක්‍රිකට් තානමත් එක්ක ඩොලර් මිලියන ගාණක් මේ ලංකාවට එන්න තියෙන එක අපිට ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් ඒක සක්සුදක්සේ පැහැදිලි. නමුත් මේ මුදලෙන් රටට වගේම දේශීය ක්‍රිකට්, ජාත්‍යන්තර ක්‍රිකට් මේ ඔක්කොටම යන පුංචි ළමයින්ගේ ඉඳලා මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රීඩකයන් ඒ වගේම මේ ක්‍රීඩා සමාජය වලට විශේෂ බලපෑමක් වෙනවා. මොකද මේ එන මුදල් වලින් හෝටල් ශාස්ත්‍රයට ඊළඟට අපේ සේවකයන්ට ඊළඟට අපේ පරිපාලනය කරන ඒගොල්ලන්ට මේ හැම එක්කෙනෙක්ටම මේ මුදල් බෙදී යනවා. රටේ කර්මයකටයි මම හිතන්නේ අපේ දේශපාලඥයන්ගේ වැරදි අදහස් වලට වෙච්ච අනුගත කිරීම අනුව මේක අපිට නැතුව ගියා.
And Sri Lanka, which is suffering from a severe foreign exchange crisis, could use this international tournament to earn several $1 million from the tourism industry. Moreover, the international community had the ability to use this tournament to build confidence that Sri Lanka is a suitable country to visit. Cinnamon Grand and Cinnamon Lakeside, 2 major hotels in Colombo, had reserved 9,558 room nights for the tournament. In addition, international journalists, members of international companies, international sponsors, and family members were expected to visit Sri Lanka during this period. According to a general estimate, Sri Lanka has lost nearly $100 million due to the decisions taken by the inexperienced sports minister. More importantly, Sri Lanka lost the opportunity to build trust with international tourists about the stability of Sri Lanka.
Meanwhile, the President of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, has taken steps to appoint a new sports minister by removing the sports minister who took these decisions. It is obvious that the former sports minister is currently working with the opposition. Sri Lankans are whispering whether all this was done for his next political promotion. How fair is it to put the sport at stake for his personal political advancement? When will Sri Lankans be able to free themselves from corrupt politicians?